Hello, my name is Diska Debratibefilia. Here I will do my project one for midterm test. It is sociolinguistic. I chose two topic. For the first topic is code mixing and dialect. It has two parts, part one and part two. The first, let's start to part one first. Code mixing. What is the definition of code mixing? Code mixing is a sociolinguistic phenomenon where people combine two or more languages in one sentence or conversation. This usually happens in bilingual or multilingual communities. In Indonesian, many students mix Indonesian and English in daily communication because English words are already familiar in education and social media. For example, the sentence aku lagi ngerjain assignment yang deadline-nya besok combines Indonesian and English in one utterance. The words assignment and deadlines come from English, while the rest of the sentence is Indonesian. And next, we have characteristic of code mixing. I have the four characteristic. For the first characteristic is mixing words or phrases from different languages, and this means speakers combine vocabulary from two languages in one sentence. For example, someone may use Indonesian and English together while speaking. Or second is that code mixing is common among students and young people. Young people often use code mixing because they are familiar with English from school, movies, music, and social media. And the third characteristic is that it often happens in informal situation. Code mixing usually appears in casual conversation with a friends, classmates, or online communications, not in very formal situation. Or the last characteristic is that it usually combines Indonesian and English. In Indonesian, English is word language most frequently mixed with Indonesian because many English terms are already commonly used. And the next, the reason why people use code mixing. The first reason is to sound modern or educate. Some people use English words because they think it sounds more trendy, smart, and professional. And the second reason is to express ideas more clearly. Sometimes English words are shorter or easier to understand than Indonesian words, especially in academic or technology topic. And the third reason is the influence of social media and globalization. Social media, movies, music, and internet expose people to English every day, so they naturally use English words in conversation. Overall, code mixing it helps speaker communicate in more related and expressive way. And next, we have type of code mixing. For the first is intrasentential mixing. This happens when two languages are mixed within one sentence. For example, aku lagi prepare presentation untuk besok. In this sentence, Indonesian and English are combined together. And the second type is intra-lexical mixing. This happens when elements from different languages are combined in one word, such as di download or ngeprint. In Indonesian, affixes are attached to English words. The third type is change of pronunciation. This happens when foreign words are pronounced using local pronunciation. For example, strawberry comes from the English word strawberry, and ice cream come from ice cream. The- And now we have a relevant theories and academic references from relevant theories is Hoffman theories 1991. An introduction to bilingualism book explain reason and type of code mixing or switching, intrasynthetical, intralexical, change of pronunciation, and Muskan theory 2000. Peter Muskan bilingual speech, a typology of code mixing from Cambridge University Press. The reference is Sumasi at 20, 2014. Code mixing or code switching and code mixing in Indonesian study in social linguistic, English language and literature studies, and Umami Ghazani 2021 code switching and code mixing. And for the topic number 2, it's a dialect. What's the definition of dialect? Dialect is a variation of language used by people from a particular region or social group. Every dialect has different pronunciation, vocabulary, and intonation. In Indonesia, dialect differences are very common because people come from different ethnic and cultural backgrounds. Dialect also reflects a person's identity and cultural background. And next we have why dialect variation occurs. The first reason is a geographic differences. People who live in different regions develop different way of speaking. The second reason is culture background. Culture influences vocabulary, pronunciation, and communication styles. And the third reason is ethnic identity. People often maintain their dialect to show their ethnic identity and pride. The last reason is social environment. Family, friends, and society influence how people speak in daily life. Next, we have the first example of dialect in Indonesian. The first example is Javanese dialect. People from Java have their own pronunciation and vocabulary styles. And the second example is Sunda dialect. Sundanese dialect. Sundanese speakers usually have a softer intonation and unique expression. And the third example is Betawi dialect. Betawi dialect is commonly used in Jakarta and has a casual speaking style. And the last example is a Batak dialect. Batak dialect often has stronger intonation and distinct pronunciation. And for example, people from Jakarta and West Java may pronounce certain words differently because of their dialect backgrounds. And next we have sociolinguistic function of dialect. And the first function is show regional and cultural identity. Dialect helps people recognize someone's origins and backgrounds. The second function is strengthening the social solidarity among speakers. People who use The same dialect often feel closer and more connected. And the third function is of influencing pronunciation and communication style. Different dialect create different speaking patterns and expression. The last function is reflecting Indonesia's linguistic diversity. Dialect shows that Indonesian is culturally and linguistically rich. And the next, we have relevant academic and relevant theories and academic references for dialect. Third-scale dialect theory explained that each dialect variation is influenced by geographic, social class, and social interaction. And the Cambridge sociolinguistic variation theory states that language variation reflects social identity and cultural background. And Cambridge and third-scale dialectology and Wolfram Wald dialect and language variation. And next we have part 2, for number 1, it's diglossia. What's the definition of diglossia? Diglossia is the use of different language varieties based on social situation. In this case, the student used formal Indonesian during the seminar and informal Indonesian with classmates. For analysis, formal language is used in academic situation, while informal language creates more relaxed interaction among peers. And the meaning and function, formal language shows professionalism and respect, while informal language reflects solidarity and closeness. And next we have, oh no, relevant theories, academic references. Relevant theories is Ferguson Classical Diglossia, 1959. Fishman extended diglossia, 1967. Applies to situation involving different language or variety. And reference Ferguson Classical Diglossia, 1959. And Fishman 1967 applies to situations involving different language and variety. And next we have chord alternation, style shifting, chord mixing, and chord switching. Explanation is student combines Indonesian and English during discussion. The interaction, chord mixing, chord switching, style shifting, and chord alternation depending on the topic and listener. For analysis, this phenomenon occurs because students are bilingual speakers and are familiar with both languages. With English is commonly used for academic terms, whilst Indonesian creates more natural communication among peers. And the meaning and function, language variation helps students communicate ideas more effectively, express bilingual identity, and create comfortable interaction in discussion. And next we have relevant theories, academic reference for jumpers code switching theories. 1982, Jones jumper discourse strategy views code switching as a contextualization cue and distinguishes situational metaphorical switching. Holmes' sociolinguistic theory, Janet Holmes' An Introduction to Sociolinguistics provides a comprehensive framework for analyzing styles, code switching, and social context. And for the reference is Hoffman, C. 1991, and An Introduction to Bilingualism, Maskan, 2000, Bilingual Speech Typology of Mixing. And next, we have style shifting. For the explanation, style shifting happens when speakers change their speaking style depending on wait. Depending on the situation, students usually speak formally during presentation but become more informal when talking with a close friend. And for analysis, different situations require different communication style. Formal language is used to show politeness and professionalism, while informal language creates a more relaxed atmosphere. And meaning and function, formal styles show respect and seriousness, while informal style helps speaker build closeness and comfortable interaction. Next, we have relevant theories, academic reference, Bell Audience Design Theory, 1984. Alan Bell urges the speakers shift their language style primarily according to the audience they are addressing. Leboeuf variation theory, William Leboeuf explained that speakers change their speaking style depending on social context, attention to speech, and social factor. And Reverence Bell, 1980, 1984, language styles as an audience design. Language is society, Leboeuf W, 1972, Sociolinguistic Patterns for University of Pennsylvania Press. Next, we have code mixing explanation. Code mixing occurs when a speaker combines two languages in one sentence or U-turns. Phenomenon is commonly found among bilingual students. Analysis: students mix Indonesian and English because of bilingual habits, education, and social media influence. Some English words are also considered easier and more familiar. And the meaning and function, code mixing reflect modern communication style, bilingual identity, and help speaker express ideas more naturally. And next, we have relevant theories and academic reference. For Hosman theories, 1991, Charlotte Hoffman explained that bilingual speaker makes language within one sentence also express ideas more easily fill lexical gaps, and creates a relaxed atmosphere. Muskan theory, 2000. Peter Muskan proposed a typology of code mixing and states that code mixing reflects bilingual competence in multilingual communities. Reverence Hoffman, c. 1991, and An Introduction to Bilingual Longman. Muskan, 2000, Bilingual Speech, a typology of code mixing, Cambridge University Press. And we have code switching. The explanation: code switching happens when speakers change completely from one language to another during to another what is it? To another during communication. Students may switch to English when explaining academic concept. Analysis: students switch language to explain ideas more clearly, emphasize information, and adjust communication to audience. And the meaning function, code switching reflects bilingual ability, communication flexibility, and helps interaction become more effective. Relevant theories academic reference. And the reference theories is Jumper, code switching theory, 1982. Jones G. Jumper sees code switching as a conversational strategy to emphasize information, clarify meaning, or adjust to listener. And Poplak theory, 1980. Sana Poplak classify types of code switching and identifies syntactic constraint on how language can be mixed. References: Poplak, 1980. Sometimes I'll start a sentence in Spanish yet terminal in Spanish-linguistic. Jumpers, 1982. Discourse Strategy, Cambridge University Press. The last topic is and part for the last is dialect. It is language variation influenced by regional and social background differences can appear in pronunciation, vocabulary, and intonation. For analysis, the different region and cultures in Indonesian create dialect variation in communication habits and speaking styles. Meaning and function, dialect reflects culture, identity, social belonging, and communication in multicultural society. Oh no. But the next is relevant theories and academic reference. In Troutgale dialect theory, Peter Troutgale emphasized that dialect variation is influenced by geographical location, social class, and language context. Camber's sociolinguistic variation theory Cambridge explained that dialect difference reflect speakers' social identity, cultural background, and social environment. And the reference Cambridge J.K. Troutgale P. 1998 Dialectology, Cambridge University Press. Cambridge Sociolinguistic Theory, Linguistic Variation, and its Social Significance. What? Willie Blackwell. That's all from me. Thank you.